बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। इस क्लास एक्टिविटी में हमें डिफरेंट क्वेश्चंस पूछे गए हैं और इस क्लास एक्टिविटी में जो इंफॉर्मेशन हमें गिवन है इट इज़ रिलेटेड टू प्राइस ऑफ गिटार, प्राइस ऑफ मेडोलिन, income of the consumer, quantity demanded for guitar and quantity supplied of guitar. About 5 components we are given some information at 2 points, say point A and point B. We have understood the concept of elasticity of demand and elasticity of supply. We also understood about what point elasticity of demand is. In today's session, I'm going to talk about arc elasticity of demand, its interpretation, and how elasticity of supply can be calculated. Okay. First of all, we need to understand that what is the difference between point elasticity and arc elasticity. When we are interested to find out elasticity at any one point of a given demand curve, then we always use the concept of point elasticity. But when we are given more than 1 point, say 2 points, like as we are given A and B into this given table, if there are more than 2 points, or maybe two or two, 3 or 4 or 5, and we are interested to find out elasticity at 2 or maybe at 3 or maybe at 4 or maybe beyond 4, if we are interested to find out combined elasticity at 2 points or maybe at 3 points or maybe at 4 points, there we always use the concept of arc elasticity. So arc elasticity gives us understanding about finding the combined elasticity of 2 or more than 2 points, right? So uh, we can find out elasticity more than 2 to 3 points or maybe 4 points. Let me read question number 6 for you people to understand, to develop our understanding about arc elasticity. From question 6 to question 10, we have concept of arc elasticity of demand and arc elasticity of supply. In the question number 6, it is written, calculate arc elasticity of demand with respect to price for guitar and interpret your result, right? In question 6, it is about arc elasticity of demand with respect to income. In question 8, it is arc elasticity of demand with respect to cross price. Question 9 and question 10 represents arc elasticity of supply with respect to price and with respect to cross price to find out the answers, right? So from 6 to question 8, the concept is about arc elasticity of demand with respect to price, with respect to income, and with respect to cross price. While from question 9 to 10, we have concept of arc elasticity of supply with respect to price and cross price. Let me start answering question number 6 first, and then I'll be moving towards 7, 8, 9, and 10 in a sequence way. Let's go to the concept of arc elasticity. Here comes the concept of arc elasticity. Let me move to the next page so that we could have a smooth movement. I've already explained what arc elasticity is. Okay, now let's understand the definition of arc elasticity of demand. The ratio of percentage change in quantity demanded for guitar to the percentage change in price of guitar is called as price elasticity of demand. It is similar as we have understood about elasticity of demand, right? Until here, there is no concept of arc added over here, right? So it is a simple definition. right after the definition, there is some explanation that I've made for you people to understand what arc elasticity is about, right? From the formula, it will be more clear that how the arc elasticity can be calculated. Okay, I said the ratio of percentage change in quantity demanded for guitar to the percentage change in price of guitar is called as price elasticity of demand or elasticity of demand with respect to price. However, the arc elasticity of demand could be used to find out elasticity at two or more than 2 points on any given demand curve, right? Or in case when we would like to find out the combined elasticity of two or more than 2 points on any given demand curve, then we will use arc elasticity of demand to find out our answer, right? Okay, now let's understand its formula. Arc elasticity of demand with respect to price can be written as percentage change in quantity demanded divided by percentage change in price. Okay, on place of percentage change in quantity demanded, we can write change in quantity demanded divided by, we earlier write here as quantity demanded, right? But now we have just edited or modified our formula by saying, by taking change into one fraction and without change information into another fraction. So in the first fraction we have change in quantity demanded divided by change in price, multiply by average price of the given points divided by average quantity demanded of the given points. Now just imagine if we have more than 1 point upon a demand curve. Just imagine a demand curve is a downward sloping curve, and upon that demand curve, we have more than 1 point, say A, B, C. And if I would like to find out an elasticity upon all these 3 points, what I need to do? I need to add point A, point B, and point C, and then need to take an average of all these 3 points. Say at point A, we have quantity demanded, say 100. At point B, we have a quantity demanded, say 90. And at point C, we have quantity demanded, say 80, right? So point A, we have quantity demanded 100. At B, we have 90. And at C, we have quantity demanded 80. So 100 plus 90 equals 190 plus 80 equals 270, right? So we have three quantities and the total of all these three quantity demanded are equal to 270. Dividing 270 upon three number of quantities which are three. So 270 divided by 3 equals 90. So average quantity demanded equals 90. So the percentage change in quantity demanded can be written as delta QD divided by average quantity of 3 points, right? Which is 90. Similarly, percentage change in price can be written as change in price divided by average price of the given points. So how do we find out an average price? Say when quantity demanded was 100, the price was 10 at point A. But when price is increased from 10 to 20, quantity demanded decreased from 100 to 90. So at point B, we had price equals 20. And at point C, we had price equals 30, where quantity demanded was 80, right? So we have three prices, say 10, 20, and 30. By adding all of them, we obtain 60 as total. Dividing 60 upon number of prices, which are three. So 60 divided by 3 equals 20. So average price of 3 points is 20, right? So what we need to do, we need to find out percentage change in price equals change in price divided by average price of 3 points equals 20. Okay, so let me read this formula for you people again. Arc elasticity of demand with respect to price equals change in quantity demanded. Okay, let me just update this formula for you people again so that there should not be any confusion. What is percentage change in quantity demanded? Here comes the formula of arc elasticity of demand. So arc elasticity of demand with respect to price can be written as percentage change in quantity demanded. It can be written as change in quantity demanded divided by average quantity demanded of the given points multiply by percentage, sorry, this sign of multiplication, instead of it we should have a sign of division. Okay, so change in quantity demanded divided by average quantity demanded of given points divided by percentage change in price can be written as change in price divided by average price of the given points. So on place of change in quantity demanded, we can write delta QD, and on place of plus average quantity demanded of the given points, we can write quantity demanded at point A plus quantity demanded at point B. By adding the both quantities, we divide the sum upon 2 to obtain average quantity demanded of the given points. Then division sign would remain as it is. Delta P can be written on place of change in price. And for average price of the given points, we can write price at given point A plus price at given point B. Then divide the sum of the prices upon 2. Since there are two prices, that is why we are dividing this upon 2. The formula becomes delta QD over this information can further be written as this information can further be written as instead of this we can write a sign of multiplication and the division sign, when it is replaced with the sign of multiplication, eventually the denominator becomes numerator and numerator becomes denominator in the right hand fraction, in the fraction which is upon the right hand side of the expression or the equation. Okay, so formula becomes delta QD over this information, or it can further be written as, you know, the terms in delta can be written into one fraction and terms other than delta can be written into the other fraction. Therefore, the formula becomes delta QD over delta P multiplied by average price of 2 points divided by average quantity demanded of 2 points. Or arc elasticity of demand can simply be written in terms of formula as delta QD over delta P multiplied by P bar over QD bar. What is QD bar? It is average quantity demanded of 2 points. What is P bar? It is average price of 2 points. Right after defining and writing up the formula, now let's move towards the calculation. Before to start calculation, let's follow little procedure. This is a table that we are given. I've just copied that table from the top till here in order to see the values so that I can avoid any type of mistake, right? So let's start solution. Let's start answering the question. The question number 6 was about calculate arc elasticity of demand with respect to price and interpret your result. As we know that the arc elasticity of demand with respect to price can be found by using the formula of delta QD divided by delta P multiplied by P bar over QD bar, right? So, so if we look at the formula, within this formula, we have four components. The first component is delta QD, the other one is delta P, the third one is P bar, which is average price of 2 points, and QD bar, which is average quantity demanded for 2 points. So at point B, we have quantity demanded, say it is 150. If you could look at the column of quantity demanded at point A is 200, but it is 150 at second point, right? So delta QD, if you look at this information, then you will subtract 200 from 150 to obtain answer minus 50, right? So this is your component number one. Then let's find out delta P, which is the component 2 of the formula. It can be written as delta P equals price at given point B minus price at given point A, right? So price of guitar given at point B is 30. and it is 25 at point A. So the difference is plus 5, right? So this is the component number 2. Look at the price. It is 25 at point number 1 and it is 30 at point number 2, right? Okay. Let's move to the component number 3, which is QD bar. QD bar, the formula for QD bar is QD at point A plus QD at point B. The sum should be divided upon 2. So quantity demanded at point A is 200 and quantity demanded at point B is 150. So dividing the sum, which is 350 upon 2, to obtain answer in the form of 175. So QD bar, which is the average quantity demanded of 2 points, equals 175. So this is our component number 3 of the formula. Now let's move to the component 4 of the formula, which is P bar. P bar is the average price of 2 points, which is PA plus PB divided by 2. So price at point A is 25, price at point B is 30. The sum is 55. Dividing the sum upon 2, we obtain 27.5. Therefore, the fourth component of the formula is P bar, which is average price of 2 points, which is equals to 27.5. After obtaining all the 4 components, now let's substitute the values of all the 4 components into the formula, which is delta QD over delta P multiplied by P bar over QD bar. Okay, now delta QD we have obtained equals minus 50. Okay, for delta P we have obtained plus 5. Look at the formula. On place of delta QD we have replaced its value, which is minus 50. On place of delta P we have replaced its value, which is plus 5. Multiply by average price we have obtained, it is 27.5, and average quantity demanded, it is 175. So multiplying 50 with 27.5, the answer is 1375, and multiplying 5 with 175, we obtain 875 as an answer. So dividing 1375 upon 875, we obtain answer 1.5714, and the answer is in negative, right? So the answer for arc elasticity of demand with respect to price is found to be minus 1.5714. Got my point? So what does minus 1.5714 depict? The minus sign shows that if average price of 2 points increases by 1%, then average quantity demanded for 2 points will decrease by 1.5714%. So this is the interpretation of arc elasticity of demand. Let me read it for you people in a systematic way. The answer of arc elasticity of demand with respect to price of guitar is found to be minus 1.574, which shows that if average price of guitar of both points A and B increases by 1%, then the average quantity demanded for guitar of both points A and B decreases by 1.5714%, right? Moreover, the absolute, as we have already read, that the function of the absolute is to convert all the negative values into the positive values. So the absolute value of arc elasticity of demand arc elasticity of demand at both points with respect to price is found to be, since it was negative, when I've taken the absolute value, it should be written in positive 1.5714, which is greater than unity but less than plus infinity. Hence, absolute value of arc elasticity of demand with respect to price is less than plus infinity, right? But it is greater than plus 1. Hence, there exists more elastic relation or elastic relation between average price of guitar and average quantity demanded for guitar at both points, right? So this is the interpretation of our answer. Here the question number 6 is answered. Now let's move towards question number 7, which is to find out arc elasticity of demand with respect to income. So let's move towards the question number 7 to answer it. Firstly, we will write the definition of arc elasticity of demand with respect to income. The definition remains the same as the income elasticity of demand is, but the difference is into the formula. The ratio of percentage change in quantity demanded for guitar to the percentage change in income of the consumer is called as income elasticity of demand or elasticity of demand with respect to income. Now let's copy this information, the one that we have mentioned over here, and we'll update it afterwards. This is the same formula that we require here. The arc elasticity of demand with respect to income equals percentage change in quantity demanded divided by percentage change in price, right? So percentage change in quantity demanded can be written as change in quantity demanded divided by average quantity demanded of the given points, right? Whereas in place of percentage change in income, what we have written, change in income divided by average income of the given points, right? So percentage change in quantity demanded can be written as change in quantity demanded divided by average quantity demanded of the given points, and percentage change in income can be written as change in income divided by average income of the given points, right? And right after this, the arc elasticity of demand with respect to income can be written as delta QD over QD at point A plus QD at point B. The sum should be divided upon 2. Then sign of division appears. Then change in income can be replaced with delta I, and average income can be replaced with income at point A plus income at point B, and the sum should be divided upon 2, right? Similarly, income arc in arc elasticity of demand with respect to income can be written as the sign of division can be replaced with the sign of multiplication, and the prices should be replaced with income. So earlier the action was price, and later on it becomes income. Then the delta terms should be written into one fraction, and the other should be written without delta terms should be written separately. So P bar should be written as I bar, and delta P should be written as delta I. This is the required formula. Arc elasticity of demand with respect to income, where QD bar represents average quantity demanded of 2 points, while average income represents, I bar represents average income of 2 points, right? Now let's move towards the solution. The table is just mentioned because we can clearly see the values in order to avoid any difficulty. As we know that the formula for arc elasticity of demand with respect to income is delta QD over delta I multiplied by I bar over QD bar. And within this formula, we again have four components, which is delta QD, delta I bar, and QD bar, right? So what we need to do, we need to find out the values of all these four components to substitute it into the formula. So delta QD equals QD at point B minus QD at point A. This is 150 minus 200 equals minus 50. So delta QD is equals to minus 50. This is the first component of the formula of arc elasticity of demand with respect to income. Okay, the second component is about delta I, and we know the formula that income at point B minus income at point A gives us delta I. Income at point B we are given it is 8500, and income at point A we are given it is 9500. So after subtracting 9500 from 8500, we obtain minus 1000 as an answer, right? Then QD bar, it is quantity demanded at point A plus quantity demanded at point B. The sum should be divided upon 2, and since the values are unchanged, that is why the QD bar equals 175 as we have estimated it into the previous example. So it was earlier 175. Since the values are unchanged, so it will remain 175 into the present example as well. So the component 3, which is QD bar, it is equals to 175. The component 4 is I bar, which is the average of the 2 points, average income of the 2 points, IA plus IB. The sum should be divided upon 2. Income at point A is 9500, while income at point 2 is 8500. The sum is 1800, and we divide 1800 upon 2 to obtain answer 900. So I bar equals 900. Up till here we have found all the four components of the arc elasticity of demand with respect to income. Now substituting all these four components into the formula to obtain the further results. Now substituting values in the formula is delta QD over delta I multiplied by I bar over QD bar. On place of delta QD, we substituted its value, which is negative 50. Then on place of delta I, we have substituted its value, which is negative 1000. Then the sign of multiplication appears, and afterwards I bar, the value of I bar we have found is 900. So we have replaced its value with I bar, and the value of QD bar is 175. So we have substituted its value over here. Hence, the negative and negative becomes positive. 50 into 900 becomes 45,000. 175 into 1000 becomes 175,000. So three zeros are cancelled with the three zeros. The left answer is 45 divided by 175, and the ratio can be written as, so 45 divided 175, the answer becomes 0.2571, and this answer of arc elasticity of demand with respect to income is positive. So let's interpret the coefficient and its meaning, that when income elasticity of demand is greater than zero, what does it reflect? What type of product it talks about? So the answer of the arc elasticity of demand with respect to income of a consumer is found to be plus 0.2571, which shows that if average income of the consumer at both given points increase by or increases by 1%, then the average quantity demanded for guitar at both given points will increase by 0.2571%. Why it is increasing? Since the coefficient is found to be positive, it is plus. So plus means that if average income increases by 1%, then the average quantity demanded will also increase. But by how much value? What should be the value? The answer will tell us that the average quantity demanded will increase by this much percentage change. So since we are given, since we have found the answer as to be 0.2571, therefore by increasing average income 1%, the average quantity demanded will also increase by 0.2571%. Okay. There is one other point which is important to understand within this example of income elasticity of demand, when keeping in mind the concept of arc elasticity. The answer is, since it is positive, it means that consumer is consuming normal good, right? As I've told you earlier in the previous lectures, that whenever income elasticity of demand appears to be positive, consumer would always use normal goods. If income elasticity of demand appears to be negative, then consumer will be using either inferior goods or either Giffen goods. But it depends that if we are given with the price elasticity, then we can easily conclude that whether a product is inferior or a Giffen. For Giffen goods, income elasticity of demand is negative, but price elasticity of demand is positive. However, in case of inferior goods, income elasticity of demand is negative, but price elasticity of demand is also negative. So many, if we conclude or if we summarize it, that the price elasticity of demand for Giffen good is always positive, but for inferior good, it is always negative. So price elasticity of demand is the main determinant that can guide us to conclude whether the good is Giffen or a good is inferior, right? Since the income elasticity of demand for both goods is negative. So on this grounds, we cannot calculate, we cannot conclude that the both goods are different, right? So price elasticity of demand will provide us the answer that which product is belong to which type, right? Up till here, there is one more point left into this interpretation, that is the absolute value. We don't need to write absolute since the answer is positive. So the value of arc elasticity of demand at both points with respect to income is found to be 0.2571, which is less than unity but greater than 0. Therefore, Therefore, there exists less elastic or inelastic relation between average income of the consumer and average quantity demanded for guitar at both points. So up till here, we have answered question number 7. Now let's move towards question number 8. Question number 8 is about finding cross price arc elasticity of demand or arc elasticity of demand with respect to cross price or price of related good like price of Madeline, right? Now let's define the question first, and then we will be moving towards its formula, and then we'll calculate this concept. The ratio of percentage change in quantity demanded for guitar to the percentage change in price of related good like price of Madeline is called as cross price arc elasticity of demand elastic or arc elasticity of demand or arc elasticity of demand with respect to cross price or price of related good like price of Madeline, right? As we know that arc elasticity of demand, let us write over here cross price arc elasticity of demand, right? Or arc elasticity of demand with respect to price of related good equals percentage change in quantity demanded divided by percentage change in price of related good, right? So how do we need to write this formula? Let me copy some information from this formula. Change in price of related good, let me write PR over here and here PR, right? So change in quantity demanded divided by average quantity demanded of given points divided by change in price of related goods divided by average price of related good of the given points, right? This is arc elasticity of demand with respect to price of related good. Okay. Now let's update our formula as So arc elasticity of demand with respect to price of related good can be written as change in quantity demanded equals delta QD, and average quantity demanded can be written as quantity demanded at point A plus quantity demanded at point B divided by 2. Then the sign of division appears, and afterwards denominator become, I mean, delta PR over the average price of 2 points, right? Then there comes this formula can further be written as, right? Then simplifying this formula, I mean delta QD over average quantity demanded multiplied by average price divided by delta PR, then writing these delta terms into one fraction as delta QD over delta PR multiply by then average price of 2 points divided by average quantity of 2 points, right? Or this is one formula. This its simplified form is arc elasticity of demand with respect to price of related good equals delta QD over delta PR multiplied by PR bar divided by QD bar. This is the final formula, and QD bar represents average quantity demanded of 2 points, while PR bar represents average price of related goods of 2 points. Right now, let's begin our calculations solution. As we know that this is the formula of cross price elasticity of demand considering arc elasticity's concept in mind. So arc elasticity of demand with respect to cross price or with respect to related prices equals delta QD over delta PR multiplied by PR bar divided by QD bar. Firstly, we will find out the first component of the formula, which is delta QD. It is QD at point B minus QD at point A. QD at point B is given 150 and QD at point A it is given 200. So 150 minus 200 equals minus 50. So delta QD minus 50, I mean delta QD is equals to minus 50. It is the first component of the formula. Let's move towards the second component, which is delta PR. Delta PR equals PR at point B minus PR at point A. What is PR? PR is the price of Madeline, right? This is the component that I'm talking about. So price of related good at point A is 35, but it is 30 at point B. So 30 minus 35 equals minus 5. So this is the second component of the formula. Now let's move towards the component 3, which is QD bar. Again, the quantity would remain same, hence the answer is 175, and it is same as in case of the previous two examples. Now let's move towards PR bar. PR at point A is 35 plus PR at point B is 30. So the sum is 65 dividing sum 65 upon 2, we obtain answer as 32.5, which is P bar, right? So this is the fourth component of the formula. Now substituting all these four components into the formula of arc elasticity of demand with respect to price of related good. So in place of delta QD, we have substituted its value, which is negative 50. In place of delta PR, we have substituted its value, which is negative 5. In place of PR bar, we have replaced its value, which is 32.5. And on place of QD bar, we have replaced its value, which is 175. So multiplying 50 with 32.5, we obtain 1625 in negative terms. And when we multiply 5 with 175, then we obtain an answer 875, but it is again in negative. So negative multiplied by or divided by negative, the answer becomes positive. So 1625 divided by 875, the answer becomes 1.8571, and it is again greater than 0. The answer of arc elasticity of demand with respect to cross price or price of related good like price of Madeline, this is also called as cross price arc elasticity of demand, is found to be plus 1.8571, which shows that if average price of Madeline at both given points increases by 1%, then the average quantity demanded for guitar at both given points will increase by 1.8571%. Since the cross price arc elasticity of demand or arc elasticity of demand with respect to cross price or price of related good like price of Madeline is found to be positive, therefore both guitar and Madeline are substitute goods to each other. In the earlier discussion, I've already told you that if the cross price elasticity of demand for two goods is positive, then the two goods are said to be substitute goods. For instance, if Madeline has become expensive in the market, then the users of Madeline will switch towards the consumption of guitar. Hence, because of increase in price of Madeline, the users of Madeline have switched towards the consumption of guitar. Resultantly, quantity demanded for guitar will increase. Hence, the price of Madeline will have a positive relation with the quantity demanded for guitar, concluding that the Madeline and guitars are substitute goods. And if the relation appears to be negative, then the two goods will be called as complementary goods. I've already explained the discussion of substitute or complementary goods into the chapter of economics of market forces, keeping in mind the impact of price of related good upon quantity demanded and upon quantity supplied, right? So over there, I've already explained this concept in quite detail. Now let's read the second component of the interpretation. Moreover, since the answer is positive, then there is no need to write absolute value. Moreover, the arc elasticity of demand with respect to price of related good like price of Madeline at both points is found to be plus 1.8571, which is greater than unity but less than plus infinity. Therefore, there exists more elastic or elastic relation between average price of Madeline and average quantity demanded for guitar at both given points. Up till here, I've answered question number 8. Now let's move towards question number 9, which is finding out elasticity of supply, arc elasticity of supply, right? So let me copy this information from here to answer my next question. I'll quickly answer my question number 9 so that we can finish the concept within time, inshallah. The next concept is about arc elasticity of supply with respect to price. So the definition is the ratio of percentage change in quantity supplied QD should be replaced with QS. So the ratio of percentage change in quantity supplied for guitar to the percentage change in price of guitar is called as price elasticity of supply or elasticity of supply with respect to price. The definition is same. We should avoid repetition since we have already talked about the arc elasticity. So arc elasticity of demand should be replaced with the supply. Arc elasticity of supply with respect to price equals percentage change in quantity supplied divided by percentage change in price, right? In the next formula, it should be written as change in quantity supplied divided by average quantity supplied of 2 points. The formula should be arc elasticity of supply with respect to price equals change in quantity supplied divided by average quantity supplied of the given points divided by change in price divided by average price of the given points. Then on place of delta QD, it should be written as delta S, and elasticity of supply can be, elasticity of demand can be replaced with elasticity of supply. QD should be replaced with QS, and the rest formula should remain as it is. Right? So the simplest formula will become arc elasticity of supply with respect to price equals delta QD over delta QS over delta P multiplied by average price of 2 points divided by average quantity supply of 2 points, right? Or delta QS over delta P multiplied by P bar over QS bar equals arc elasticity of supply with respect to price, whereas QS bar equals quantity supply at point A plus quantity supply at point B. The sum should be divided upon 2. The information of quantity supply we are given, it is 150 at point A, whereas it is 250 at point B, right? I just need some time to complete my concept. Please be with me and also bear with me. This is important. I don't want to leave this concept incompleted since it will be finished within few minutes. Let's begin the solution. As we know that the arc elasticity of supply with respect to price is equals to delta QS over delta P multiplied by P bar over QS bar, whereas delta QS is the first component, which is equals to QS given at point A, given at point B minus QS given at point A, and subtracting 150 from 250, we obtain plus 100 as delta QS. So delta QS equals 250 minus 150 equals plus 100. How do we know that QS at point B is 250? It is given in the table. You could look at my selected information. Let's move towards delta P, which is the second component of the formula. Delta P equals PB minus PA. So price of guitar at point B is 30, while it is 25 at point A. The difference is plus 5, right? This is the second component. Let's move towards the third component, which is QS bar. So QS bar equals QS given at point A plus QS given at point B. The sum should be divided upon 2. So QS given at point A is 150. QS given at point B is 250. The sum is 400. So when we divide 400 upon 2, we will get answer 200, right? So this is QS bar. And then we are left with the fourth component, which is P bar. Since the price of guitar is same, that is why the answer of P bar is 27.5, as we have found in earlier example. So up till here we have found the four components of the formula. Now let's substitute these into the formula, and the formula is arc elasticity of supply equals delta QS divided by delta P multiply by P bar over QS bar. So arc elasticity of supply with respect to price equals plus 100 divided by plus 5 multiply by 27.5 divided by 200, right? So 100 multiply by 27.5 equals 2750, and 5 into 200 equals 1000, and plus multiply by plus equals plus. So 2750 divided by 1000 equals plus 2.570. So it is plus 2.57. So let me cross check it once again. 100 into 27.5, 2750 divided by 1000 equals 2.75. Sorry, 2.75. Sorry. Yes. Then arc elasticity of supply with respect to price is witnessed as 2.75, right? Now interpret 2.75. The answer of arc elasticity of supply with respect to price of guitar is found to be plus 2.75, which shows that if average price of guitar of at both points increases by 1%, then average quantity supplied for guitar of both points will increase by 2.75%. Moreover, the answer of moreover, the arc elasticity of supply at both points with respect to price is found to be 2.75, which is greater than unity but less than plus infinity, therefore there exists more elastic relation between average price of guitar and average quantity supplied supplied of guitar at both points. So this is the answer of question number 9. We are left with the answer of question number 10. If you have a time, then I could answer this question. Otherwise, you could do it by your own. And up till here, I'm done with my lecture. If you have queries, then raise your hand and I'm here to answer your questions. Thank you very much for this session. Stay blessed. Have a nice time. Okay, Ji, now I'm gonna move towards question number 10, which is basically to find out cross price elasticity of supply. Uh, cross cross price arc elasticity of supply with respect to cross price or with respect to price of related good, right? The question number 10 is to find out arc elasticity of supply with respect to cross price or price of related good or price of medaling. Arc elasticity of supply with respect to price of related good or price of related good like price of medaling, right? So the ratio of percentage change in quantity supplied for guitar, sorry, to the percentage change in cross price or price of related good like price of medaling is called as cross price arc elasticity of supply or arc elasticity of supply with respect to cross price or price of related good or like price of medaling. The formula is, as we know that arc elasticity of supply with respect to price of related good equals percentage change in quantity supplied divided by percentage change in price of related good, right? It is equals to cross price arc elasticity of supply, right? It can further be written as arc elasticity of supply with respect to price of related good, PR, change in quantity supplied divided by average quantity supplied of the given points divided by change in price of related good divided by average price of related good. of the 2 points. Then it can further be written as arc elasticity of supply with respect to price of related good equals delta QS over average quantity supplied given at 2 points divided by delta PR over average price of related good at the given points. Or it can further be written as arc elasticity of supply with respect to price of related good equals delta QS over average quantity supplied of 2 points multiply by average quantity supply of 2 points, average price of related goods of 2 points divided by delta PR. Furthermore, it can be further written as arc elasticity of supply with respect to price of related goods equals delta QS over delta PR multiply by average price of related goods divided by average quantity supplied of 2 points. Or delta QS over delta PR multiply by PR bar divided by QS bar. While QS bar equals QS at point A plus QS at point B divided by 2 and PR bar equals PR at point A, PR at point B, and the sum should be divided upon 2. The table is given with us. Let's start finding out the answer solution. As we know that the formula for arc elasticity of supply with respect to price of related good equals delta QS over delta PR multiplied by PR bar over QS bar. Delta QS equals QS at point B minus QS at point A. The quantity supply at point B is given 250 and it is given 150 at point A and the difference is plus 100. Similarly, delta PR can be written as delta PR equals PR at point B minus PR at point A. So PR is basically price of Madolin. It is given in the table. So in the table, we are given price of Madolin at point B is 30, while it is given 35 at point A. Therefore, the difference is -5, right? So delta PR equals -5. Let me show you the value of PR. It is 35 at point A and it is 30 at point B, right? So let's move to the third component of our formula, which is QS bar. QS at point A is 150. It is 250 at point B. The sum is 400 and it should be divided upon 2 to obtain QS bar, which is 200. This is the third component of our formula. Now let's move towards the component number 4, which is PR bar. And we know that PR bar is equals to PRA plus PR at point B. The sum should be divided upon 2. We know that we are given with PR at point A equals 35 and PR at point B is 30. The sum is 65. Dividing 65 upon 2, we obtain 32.5, right? So the fourth component of our formula, which is P bar, it is found to be 32.5. So all of the four components have been found. Now substituting the values of all these four components into the formula of arc elasticity of supply with respect to price of related goods, and it is 100 on delta QS equals plus 100, while delta PR is found to be negative 5, multiply by delta, PR bar we have obtained, it is 32.5, while QS bar is 200. So let us multiply 32.5 with 100 equals, it should be 3250, and 5 multiplied by 200 equals 1000, plus minus multiply by, answer should be minus, and when we divide 3250 upon 1000, we obtain 3.25 as an answer, right? So the answer for cross price elasticity of supply, keeping arc elasticity's concept in mind, the answer is negative 3.25, right? So arc elasticity of supply with respect to cross price is found to be negative 3.25. Now let's interpret this answer. The answer of arc elasticity of supply with respect to cross price or price of related good, like price of Madeline, is found to be negative 3.25, which shows that if average price of Madeline at both points increases by 1%, then the average quantity supplied for guitar at both points will increase, will, since the sign is negative, so will decrease by 3.25%. Since the sign is negative, that is why by increasing the price of Madeline, the quantity supply for Madeline will increase. However, the suppliers of guitar will feel incentive in supplying Madeline. Therefore, they will switch their investments from guitar towards Madeline. Hence, the number of suppliers from guitar industry will fall and they will increase in Madeline's industry. Hence, the quantity supply for Madeline will further increase while the quantity supply for guitar will fall. Resultantly, guitar and mandolin are said to be substitutes to one another. Therefore, when cross price elasticity of supply is found to be negative, then the two goods will be called as substitute goods. Since the arc elasticity of supply with respect to cross price is found to be negative. Therefore, both mandolin and guitar are substitutes to one another. Moreover, here we should write, moreover, the absolute value of arc elasticity of supply at both points with respect to cross price is found to be 3.25, which is greater than 1 but less than plus infinity. Therefore, there exists more elastic relation between average price of mandolin and average quantity supplied of guitar at both points. Up till here, my all the class activities completed. I'm done with all the questions from 6 to 10 in this video. So you could, if you have questions related to your query related to this class activity, you could talk to me, you could raise your hand, you could let me know. I'm here to answer your questions. Up till here, the concepts are finished related to elasticity of demand and elasticity of supply. We've talked about point elasticity. We have talked about arc elasticity. So up till here, we are done. Thank you very much. Have a good time. Stay blessed.